Okay, so we're going to take a look at our first lesson. It's kind of a funny one. We're just going to look at a default stand. So what I mean by a default stand is our dogs, for the most part, end up default sitting, which means you come up to a sign in rally obedience, your dog automatically sits. If your dog doesn't know what to do, they'll just sit. Well, we don't want them to offer that behavior for us in the sport of rally free or canine freestyle, because we're all leading towards musical freestyle, canine freestyle, and what happens is that that's going to interrupt the flow of what you're doing with them. So we don't want our dogs, every time we slow down or ask them to wait or do something, to go into a sit, because they're just going to have to get right back up to do the next behavior that we ask of them. So this is probably going to be the easiest lesson in the way of of what your dog needs to do and what you need to do, but it may be challenging in the way that we're really not used to just asking our dog to remain in a stand. So I don't want you to look at this as though we're teaching the dog to stand. We're actually teaching them basically not to sit as a default. So we're not worrying about the cue stand or how they get into the stand. We are, for this exercise, and I wanted to start working this right away because it's going to be so important and you're going to need to work it on and off. Because your dogs do have a default sit, I'm pretty sure. So we are going to just work your default stand. So I'm going to show you how to go about that. I've got a platform out. I love using platform when I don't want my dogs to move around or offer different behaviors. They're used to platform training. They know that when they get on there, they're supposed to just kind of get on there and stand there and wait for me to tell them what to do, basically. So I love using a platform for exercises like this when I don't want their feet to move and so on and so forth. I'm using Jib as my demo dog. Jib recently had surgery. He has a bit of a limp. I just wanted to let you know so you weren't alarmed by it. We're doing rehab, but I won't do anything with him that might injure him, but he is super excited to be part of the demo. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Jib for this demo. I'm just gonna stop, grab my treats, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to use a clicker. I've got Jib here, I've got my treats ready. What I want you to watch is what I do as soon as he walks onto the platform. So as soon as he walks on, I'm going to reward, and I'm going to talk through my rewarding position. So easy, buddy. Okay. So click and reward, and I'm kind of rewarding low right here. And for your dogs, this is how quickly you're going to need to click and treat. Initially, break, good boy. Because they have no idea that they are supposed to go up there and just hold a stand. Obviously, he does know this, but your dogs are not going to know this. So they're going to be offering sits, they're going to be offering downs, they're going to be doing 2-on, 2-offs, they're going to be doing all sorts of things. So I'm going to do this one more time with him. I click him for getting into position. Now watch where my reward hand is going. See how I'm rewarding in a nice stand position, and I'm rewarding low. And the reason I'm rewarding low is because what's going to happen with your dogs, as soon as you lift your hands up, your dog is going to default into a sit. And as soon as you straighten your body up like that, your dog is going to default into a sit. Now, Jib's default is a stand, so he's not doing that. But I'll tell you, your dogs are going to do that because they're so used to that you come in and get into that position. And as soon as you hold your hands up over their head, they think that they're supposed to go into a sit. Because of when you trained it, you don't realize how many body cues you're actually using. So if I ask for a sit, then I'm going to get a sit. But otherwise, I shouldn't get a sit until I've asked for a sit. So break. Good boy. So all of these exercises, I'm going to actually give you the next stage also, but I'm not going to give that today. Right now what I want you to get your dogs on a platform, and I want tons of reinforcement. If you can reward faster than I was, then by all means reward faster and more frequently. So I don't want you to try to move away from them. We're going to get to all that. We're going to get to the point where he can just walk up there and hold that stand no matter what. If I walk away, if I add distraction, duration, distance. But for right now, we need to just reinforce the stand so that they stop thinking that they need to always go into a sit or a down. So have a little fun with that this week. It's probably one of the easiest things you're going to work on. So, well, I say easy. Easy, like I said, in the way that you don't need to watch for any like intricate things, but it may prove to be a little more challenging than you expect. So post your videos. I want to see how you're making out.